Hello again. Are you ready to be inspired? We are closing out the sessions of Realty on Expo 2025 with a truly exciting one, our last, but certainly not least. In this session, we'll hear firsthand from top investors who have successfully navigated the Cypriot market and built remarkable success stories. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our moderator, Dr. Natalia Kardash, founder of the Successful Business Leaders Club. Natalia, the stage is yours.
So if the floor is mine, I need to start that I will really enjoy speaking with these two gentlemen. I know them from before. It's not the first time we meet, and it's an honor for me in a kind of interview them about their success path, about their way of life, about the way how it's not only about business success, it's about vision, about risks sometimes, about resilience, about mindset. And today we will speak to two people. One of them is from a junior role. He was working hard to the leading and have one of the most ambitious projects in Cyprus when we speak about real estate. And the second person is having this engineering mind, but then going into combining it with a strategy, with investment strategy, and created long-term value. So without the delay, I would like to ask the most important and the first question. Everything is about values, we already agreed. Mindset, maybe moments of doubt, sometimes personal evolution and leadership. So my first question to both of you, thinking about the early years of career, can you remember that magic moment that you could say that, okay, this is the turning point into me becoming investor and having investment strategy? Do you have this magic point? Let's start with you, Stavros.
First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here again for a second year in a row. Did I know? No. And as you said, I started from a junior, as a junior person
What was your first job in that group?
First of all,
it's a family business,
it's
correct?
It's a family business. It's Caramondani engineers, and our core business is engineering. We are the biggest mechanical and electrical engineering firm on the island, and one of our core businesses is also water desalination, which is very fashionable these days, by the way.
Yes, but before it was fashionable, you already were doing it.
Actually, the two founders, my father and his late brother, which created the company in 1959 in Famagusta. We are refugees from Famagusta, so they should take the credit. And we are very, very lucky to have had my uncle, who is an engineer, and my father, who's still alive, being a businessman. So it was a combination of two minds that had a lot of ambition. And they were thinking outside the box. Just to tell you how forward they were, and I go back to the fashionable topic, which is water and water shortage. My father brought the first desalination in 1960s in Cyprus. And he brought the first mobile desalination unit for a demonstration purposes in 1974 at the Ygia British bases. In 74, I was 5 years old. Now I'm 40.
Okay, good mathematics.
So the vision is there. So you said about core values. I got inspired by my mentor, which was my father, obviously, because I worked very closely with him. So an open-minded guy who had ambitions. And not only in water, but also in technology. We were pioneers in other matters. So that led to starting to understand how your personality perceives the values you want to create, because values is a huge list. However, if one distinguish himself from what those values refer to him and distinguish him, and then when those values, for example, in my case, is hard work, honesty, confidence, those, after you create your character, your inner self, and you feel happy and comfortable, then I guess it's a natural thing that you start
you had this
performing.
role model. You were looking for at your father, you were looking at his brother. Did you want to be like them, or you had from the very beginning your own way of making business?
I was yes, there were, but I was not I was a rebel. I was not a very good student at school. I never passed the English school like you guys. It's a private school in Nicosia, because then we moved to Nicosia after the war. But they call me that, they consider me street smart. So the role model is surely my father. However, I had the beauty to work with a lot of our people in the group, which most of our staff, and especially the high ranking, are 40, 45 years with the company. So those were all my mentors. So I started as a storekeeper in an engineering firm, and I finished finance and business in America. I did well at school after, because I matured. But all those people, all my colleagues were my mentors.
And still,
I was working with them.
Yeah. Still, when you understood that you will invest, you will do a little bit more than your father and his brother did. They had the business, but you can be called now, we know, an investor of a new generation.
It's true. What I did, I brought my own touch to the company. So we did the Ayia Napa Marina, which was a vision of my father, because we entered into PPI projects, or PPP, public-private partnerships, or BOTs, build, own,
so
operate,
many
and
names.
transfer. So we had that vision, but on the other hand, I expanded the company. We went into oil and gas. I brought in Cyprus the first company that supports all the logistics services right now as we speak for all the IOCs, international oil companies, MedServe Cyprus, which we provide logistics services. It was my own baby that I managed that, and I brought this company in Cyprus. We established it in Cyprus, and now we are, I have to say, we are a monopoly in the region, and we are also in Greece and in Cairo region.
Okay, I would stop you here.
Yes, please stop
Yes,
me.
because we have many things to discuss, and I would like to switch into Andreas with the same question. Okay, in the case of Stavros, it was a family business, and children and family business in Cyprus. I expected to be in the business later, and this is quite a responsibility, especially if children want to do something else. You were lucky. You wanted to do what you are doing now, yes? What about you, Andreas? Family business, or you were building everything by yourself?
Both. I started out, I come from a manufacturing background. My family has two businesses in Nicosia. I'm heavily in the industry business.
What did they produce?
Mattress business. Yeah, so that's my background. So I was, as you said, I went to the English school, I did well, blah, blah, blah. So I went to the Imperial College.
And they expected you to inherit.
So yes, exactly.
Yes?
So I did the engineering, I had to. Did very well as well, but then, but gives you, gives you strong analytical thinking, attention to detail, structured approach to problem solving. That's very important. And then I used that because I didn't want to stay in this field. It was no kick for me to stay there. So
in a way, you also rebelled. You are a rebeller in the different ways.
Yes, a rebel. So more institutional rebellion. So then I decided to do, I moved immediately when I finished university. I worked in London in finance. And then I did my MBA in SEAD. And then that was very important to give me the knowledge, the finance knowledge, the management principles, critical thinking, soft skills was very important, which I used those the combination of those in my current job.
The company is created by you? Or this yes, this one, ECM?
It was founded by my partner, basically.
By your partner?
Who was there before, and then I joined, and then together now we're managing and leading this company.
Yes, and Ygia Polyclinic, private hospital, is quite a big investment and unique for Cyprus. Yes. Ygia was the last clinic to join GC. It was meant to stay private, yes?
Yeah, we invested in Ygia Polyclinic, joined GC, the General Health System, in September 2023. It was a private clinic. It's the biggest private clinic in Cyprus. With 179 beds. So we acquired control in November 2023. So it was very, very difficult at the beginning because a lot of doctors did not want to join GC, so they moved out. So we had slowly to start implementing our strategy, change management, bring a very well-known operator from Greece, which is a listed company in Athens, stock exchange. So with all that, of course, we control the board.
Yeah, in a way with Stavros, you have similar businesses. You have one project like Limassol Marina or Ygia Clinic, but inside you have so many details. How do you control these details? Andreas, how do you manage the control part?
Okay. We're sector agnostic, first of all. So when we invest in a hotel, in a clinic, or real estate, we're not knowledgeable of every single industry. That's why we bring with us people who are. And so we're on the board taking some strategic decisions which involve critical thinking, as I said, strategy, but we also have next to us people who could advise us in that specific sector. That's how we worked in all our businesses.
Okay, what about you, Stavros? How do you solve this?
Even though we are a family business, the success story lies also on the people. And our company, Caramondani Group, is managed by the managers and the directors of each different company that belongs in the group. For example, Caramondani Desalination, which deals with all the desalination plant. We have a lady manageress from Colombia, actually, very smart lady. So she also takes care of, because she's, as Andreas is saying, specialist on that. So yeah, we do the general strategy, but then each individual
you give them freedom to take decisions.
More than you can imagine. If you do not allow your people to work freely, I'm sorry, you lose the game. If I have Andreas as my manager and I don't trust him, then why should I have him there? This is how my father taught me, and I think it's a very smart thing. Find the people that you can rely, obviously, and trust, and build the trust. And then they work more than you. I mean, everybody in our group is considered either my brother or my sister. And this is how we treat them. Whether that's in our Italian factory where we design and build desalinations, which is called Osmosistemi, SRL, or whether that's in Greece, where we have a department, or whether that's in China, we have an office.
You see, he's mentioning it like we know what he has.
Yes.
Let's be structured. So, a group of company called Caramondani Group
Yes.
has several departments. About one we already know, it's desalination unit.
Yes.
One. About the second one, everyone knows, Limassol, or Ayia, Napa.
Marina.
Yes. I'm from
We are in Limassol.
I'm from Limassol. Always everything is in Limassol happening
Yes,
here.
so that's the
Ayia, Napa.
Ayia, Napa, Marina,
Ayia,
which is the
Napa,
real
Marina.
estate.
We know. Number 3 is, how would you
Then
put
we
it?
have our own factory in Italy, which is called Osmo Sistemi, which is another entity, but because it's in Italy, which designs and builds desalination. We are the only and the biggest Cypriot company that we did a backward integration, and we have the most successful know-how in desalination as a Cypriot company, not in the world.
Okay.
The
And
best in the world are Spanish.
Okay, you produce in Italy, and then
Yes.
you
We
work
sell
with the
our
whole...
biggest,
yes?
our biggest client is Morocco.
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 Okay.
So then we have MedServ, which is the logistics company that provides supporting and logistics services to the IOCs, Eni, Exxon, Chevron, etc.
Here in Cyprus.
It's based in Limassol Port.
And the clients are only those companies that
Yes.
are in Cyprus, of those international...
Right now, yes.
But you have...
But there is
you have potential with Israeli and Egypt companies doing the same things or not?
we support Eni in the Egyptian waters, in the Egyptian economic zone, and now Greece is catching up on this.
All right. So this company.
Yes, and then this is Caramondani Engineers, which is the engineering group.
What does it do?
It does mechanical and electrical installations, like for hotels, heating, cooling, air conditioning. So basically, we are considered an engineering company, and that's our core business. Now, the only thing that we did that's not, it's the real estate. But usually, when you have some money spare, usually you put it in real estate.
Usually, but not in case of Andreas.
Not in case of Andreas.
Just
So
make
Andreas has to say why.
Yes. Make a pause. We will ask
Maybe
him.
it's more...
Now, when we discuss the structure of Stavros Group, now let's discuss the structure of your business, ECM Cyprus. What is it?
Okay, ECM Cyprus is part of ECM generally. ECM is an AIF, alternative investment fund regulated in Slovenia. And now we have our own AIF in Cyprus. So in Cyprus, as you correctly said, we have invested and we have around 90% shareholding in Ygia. We also manage a development here which is called Londa. It used to be a hotel, and now we repositioned it and we turned it into 29 luxurious. We're turning it into 29 luxurious apartments on the beachfront. Another one is in Paphos, in Neo Chorio, next to the Anasa. So, and also we're now completing a few other acquisitions.
So, health department, real estate department, and?
This is Cyprus for now. And then in Slovenia, which is an older fund, we have invested in 18 hotels. We have invested in a very quite large pharmaceutical company in Greece that was called Famar, with 5 factories, 3 in Greece, 1 in Spain, and 1 in Italy, which we disposed last October. A Marina in Croatia, villas in Croatia, an IT company in Bulgaria. So we are focusing in Southeastern Europe in small, medium enterprises, basically.
All right. So our panel today is about real success stories. And I would like to ask you, Andreas, what do you think, what are the success stories in your life? If you would pick 1 or 2 successful deals, what are they?
Okay. Ygia is by far the largest one, personally, because I am leading this, as head of Cyprus, I'm leading this project. It's a sizable transaction for us. It's not small, so it took Since 2022, we started talking with doctors and other shareholders there. There were 250 doctors, and have to talk one by one until
it's
you
quite
persuade
complicated deal. So it's complicated deal to persuade 250 doctors.
Especially doctors.
Especially doctors.
Yes.
Okay. So how many years did you prepare this deal?
It took 2 years, two good years in order to
And now
come
you
where
have
we are.
90% of shares.
Now we have absolute control, yes.
Absolute control. Okay. Stavros, what would you take as one or two success stories?
Obviously in business.
Yes, business.
I would say something that the creation of Metzer Cyprus, which it was really my own baby, if you allow me to use the word baby, because I had the idea, I didn't, grab the idea either from my father or from any other colleague. So I would say that for me was the biggest success story. And why I say this, because the Maltese, our partners are Maltese, who came to Cyprus before, and they were fed up with the system and everything at the time. I'm talking about 2012, 2013, which actually, to be honest, it helped us a lot survive the 2013 bankruptcy events of Cyprus.
Because your business was outside.
Because we were not exposed in many things, and then the IOCs came, and it was a very big oxygen for us. And we did not lay off. I'm lying. We did not. We tried to keep our people, even though we had some layoffs. But then we went back immediately and brought the people back to us. So it was a milestone for us in all aspects. So that's why it's not only I'm very proud of that, to be honest, but also it helped the company as well. Another thing that I can say, because you asked for two things, it was after the unfortunately explosion of Marina. We were the company that within 6 months, under a specialized contract, we did all the installations of all the generators, and we brought power to Cyprus within 6 months or less. It was a very bad situation, because at the time we had a very big contract in Vasilikos, and shoot this explosion was 20 minutes after at the time that happened, around 6:10, when the people, both from electricity authority, but there was also, as I said, a lot of contractors working there. The victims would have been much, much worse. So I would say that we're very proud, despite the unfortunate event, we were very proud to bring power to the country as well. So those for me, I would distinguish as the two most successful things.
Being investors yourself and meeting many people who invest in Cyprus in different fields, what advice you can give to those people who are investing to Cyprus in different spheres? What mistakes people usually do? What mistakes they can avoid? Or opposite, from your experience, what maybe tricks or advices you can do? Andreas.
Well, what I follow is being honest and fair in all my business dealings. This is very important because it brings trust. If you're transparent, you build confidence between the seller and the buyer. You avert unnecessary disputes and possible failure of the deal. Then when it comes to the smooth after post-deal, then you have to have the synergies. You need to extract those synergies. So if if you start cheating each other in a way, then all those synergies and the cooperation post-deal and the growth that you want to have, then it won't be there. So you will fail in a way. Also, I'm trying to thinking always, if I'm a buyer or a seller, I'm trying to think as the other party, to understand their motivations, their concerns, their red lines, their sensitivities. Once you understand these and become the other person in the mind, then you understand you can visualize a win-win scenario, and then you can make a deal become more, the chances to increase success for a deal are great. Yeah.
And Stavros, what
Well,
you think?
since we are in realty, I will speak about the Marina of Ayia Napa and the experience we have had there with the negotiations, which was led again by myself in trying to convince the major investor, Mr. Naguib Sawiris from Egypt, to invest in the project. It wasn't easy, and if I say the mistakes, I'm not saying that we don't make mistakes, but I would say the system, the Cyprus, the licensing, the permitting, those were the most annoying things that would drive an investor away, and the rules that changed the game. That was a big mistake that, when you change governments, you just need to change the bloody president. Then you bring a new president. But the system should work, and the system should work reliably. That's the confidence and the trust you provide it. With all the respect to all the presidents, from left to right and right from left. I'm not in politics because I am fair and honest. I'm not saying that all politicians are not, but they are politicians. That's why they are called politicians. However, the system needs to be consistent, whether it's real estate, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether there is the health system. The rules should not change. And there should be a plan. If there are incentives should have a start date and an end date.
This is our problem here.
I remember a story, if you allow me to say, about the passports.
We like stories because that's something that we cannot hear anywhere else.
When we started the Marina, the previous president, Anastasiadis, called for a meeting of the bigger investors. It was around 2017 at the presidential palace to have a meeting and share ideas. So there were a lot of people from real estate at the time, and I went to represent the Marina group. And when it was my turn to speak, I said about this, that there's an incentive should be there with an end date and a finish date. If incentives are for real estate, then we should think also about the infrastructure, about sewage, about water, about electricity. Don't just say, give passport to real estate, and then how are we going to support road system, traffic jams? So I said, and then the President turned to me and said, give me an example. In 2017, this is recorded. And I said, for about passports. Why don't you put an end date, I said to him. I was nearly beaten by all the real estate developers in the room. Because I said to him, if we all know, because I'm an engineer, I'm not a real estate, my partner is, I was worried about the infrastructure. I didn't foresee the other problems of the passport. I said, Cyprus will not be able to support what I said before, the utilities, etc. So that's how I saw that from that angle, but they nearly killed me because I dared to mention about the passports, which of course we abused.
And then the end
and
day
here
was
we are today.
Very, very.
So
It was a hit. Andreas, Stavros said a personal story, shared something. So it's your turn to share the story before I ask questions. So you prepare your questions, please. It will be interesting to our panelists to answer your questions. But before they do so, your personal story.
Okay, the most difficult, the most challenging time during my career in the private equity, let's say, industry was in 2013. Again, with the financial crisis and the bail-in, where we were trying to persuade investors either to stay in or just to attract new investors, and for the years afterwards. So it was very difficult because we had, it was a very poor climate, as you understand, investor climate. So we had to protract and emphasize basically the opportunistic buy low principle of investing, that the market was undervalued. Showed to them that the banks were recapitalized, hence it was a more sustainable banking system, that the government was adopting the austerity measures that the Troika has dictated to us, that we had still an attractive tourism, a strong tourism and services sector, the strategic location of Cyprus. So all of this, you emphasize them to the investors, and you show them a few opportunities. And of course, we attracted a few opportunistic and distressed type of investors at the time who were buying claims, bank claims. So they were doing a debt to asset swap, debt to equity swap at the time with banks. So at least it was the first type of investors were coming in after 2013, which this is type of
and in a way, it shows that business should be flexible. When something does not work, you need to immediately find something that it works. You said that in your case, it was a deal which saved you, that the fresh money came in this difficult period.
Correct.
In your case, yes, you knew that they are opportunistic. You knew that these investors will leave very soon, but at least at that specific moment, they came and they pay some money, so your company and your ideas were saved, so you could succeed. And here, there are two gentlemen. They describe to you how many businesses they have. I don't know how you jungle all these departments in your businesses and different companies. So I'm sure that we can learn from them. So now it's the time for questions. Question at the back there. Do we have a microphone so we can hear the gentleman here? The questions? Yes. Okay, so please stand up, introduce yourself, and ask your question. They are giving to you a microphone. It's behind you.
Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hi, my name is Michalis Papageorgiou. Cyprus is going through a very exciting time. There's many things happening, possibly some of the most exciting time in all of Europe. And I get a feeling that we may need more Caramondanis, yes, and more Georgallis to carry the future. There's people out there that are starting. There's people that are left Cyprus because we had another 10 difficult years before, as you said, and they're returning back, and they're just starting now. Would you have any words for these people that are just starting now?
Okay, so what would you say to those people who left and they're coming back, or to new people who are coming to Cyprus now?
For new people, to motivate them, and you mean?
Yes.
Yes. Starting new business.
Yes, and investing into Cyprus. Yeah.
For new people, and if you mean young people, I would say that they should be patient. You're younger than me. I hate to say that the younger generation, they are impatient. They want to become managers in two days. They have to be patient. They have to focus on what they're doing. However, my thing is that if you don't love what you're doing, don't do it. You're going to be depressed, or you won't really give 100% of your capabilities. So there are many opportunities. However, my advice is that be focused, love what you're doing, quick decisions, and patience.
And maybe some experience like you had, you started from a lower level. So now being the director of the company, the decision maker, you know how everything works on every level of your business.
Yeah, yes, that's true, because I was storekeeper, actually. My father was very strict, by the way. But the gentleman is referring to new business and new startups, which I had that pleasure. But this is different because it's more challenging for these guys. And there are opportunities there. But I think it doesn't mean I'm right, but my advice is what I said before, because it's important, in my opinion.
With what, Andreas, you will compliment?
I agree with whatever you said, but I just want to add, don't be shy to partner up with people that can complement you. We have this ability, X skills, but in order to succeed, you need many different characteristics and skills. So that's what personally I have done. I have partnered up with people who have skills that I lack. So that's how I succeed.
Okay, that's very good advice. More questions? Yes?
Hello, my name is Gerasimus. I have a very specific question to Mr. Andreas. So, it's a double-edged one as well. One is, if you had to restart the project here from very scratch, okay? I need one lesson, what would you do differently? That's one. And two, in terms of the structure of the investment, do you have any advice? For example, should it be an increase in share capital? Should it be as a loan? Your opinion, what would you do differently? Thank you.
Andreas, the question
so
is yours.
The first question was,
the first
if I had to
question,
start from scratch.
Yes, what would you do differently?
I forgot to say, we don't do, because of our finite 5-year investment term, we don't do investments from scratch. We don't do greenfield investments. We take mature companies and we do the turnaround, we do capital restructuring. So we don't have the luxury of time to do what
the
you said
idea
from
is to
scratch.
sell in 5 years to somebody else?
Yeah. We have a 5 to 7 years investment term.
Yes, you didn't mention it. So he buys, he restructures, he makes it working, and he sells it.
Exactly.
Yes?
And you return the money to the investors, basically. So the first question is
not from scratch, from the deals that you already done. What would you do differently?
Don't trust doctors. I mean, that was the problem at the beginning. We trusted doctors. Doctors know everything. Doctors are the best, the best financiers, best in everything. So that was a mistake. At the beginning, we should have started more firmly with doctors, and we wasted a lot of time, effort, and money with that. So that's important. And all the rest, I think we did it. It took some time, but we did it in the correct steps. We couldn't go from A to Z as we did, and we had to take a few steps as we did.
And your advice to people who want to do the same business, who want to buy something, and after making it better, sell something. What would be your personal advice from the experience?
Yes. What we do is exactly we find firms that are healthy. Medium size, as I said, small to medium size, and they're healthy, they have a strong cash flow or a cash flow generation potential. They are, because of some different circumstances, they are experiencing temporary dislocations. So inheritance issues, maybe some internal issues. And we come in, we at a favorable valuation, at a lower multiples, and we unlock this value, we do the turnaround. So this is a strategy, basically. So an opportunistic buyout strategy with selecting the right firms. We have that potential for growth. We don't buy distressed companies which are destroyed and there's no future or whatever.
We are up for sale if you're interested.
And we will be making deals right here, right now.
I can go to my hobbies and windsurf and
okay. So Realtion will take a credit that they made so big deal.
Casino will take credit.
Okay, no. The organizers, they brought us to the Reality One Expo. They brought us together here, and we have only 1 minute left. So you have 30 seconds, Stavros, and then you have 30 seconds to summarize what is the key of success in business in a short way.
Dedication, quick decision making in whatever you do. And love what you're doing. I don't see, I wake up and I am very early riser, and I'm very happy that I go to work. Even though I go back home maybe 10 o'clock, 9:30, I enjoy what I'm doing. So that's my advice. Enjoy what you're doing. Do we have ups and downs, problems? Surely. I would say enjoy what you're doing, and quick decision making, and patience and focus, as I said before. Thank you.
Andreas, what you would say?
As I said before, fairness, honesty, transparency, perseverance, have a target and work methodically to reach that target. Partner up, as I said, very important, with people that can get you there. That's it, yeah.
How did you find this panel? Do they deserve a round of applause? Yeah? Okay. Thank you very much.